Hello traders, Marcelo Torres from TradeWise with one more video analysis for you guys on Bitcoin halving. I have some new things here to show you guys. Let's start here from the pre-halving date that we are at right now. If we check the percentage of height that we had from the bottom where it started until where we are right now, we have a move of around 78%. Okay, got it? All right, keep that in mind. Let's go to the second halving here. If we measure this percentage move, uptrend move as well, how much do we have? 73%. Actually, I think it got the wrong point. Let's try one more time. Let's see right here. Okay, going up. There you are. 78%. See, 77, whatever. 78%. Okay, so it shows that the 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 peak that prices reached before the halving was exactly the same we are reaching right now, and we have another situation going on right now. Check this out. We already reached again the downtrend line, primary line, which means that we expect to see it bouncing back as it did right here, returning as it did right here. Okay, so let's see how that is gonna go on, because we have some reasons to believe that this is the end of the height of the prices. Okay, the volume, when we check the volume, look down here. You guys know that I've been for more than a week saying that something was going wrong, because we see prices going up and we see volume going down. This doesn't match. It says that the higher the prices is, the less interesting the traders, the investors are to see that happening. And we expect that the prices start going down. But it didn't happen. Last week we had a peak on the volume, okay, which broke that situation. And this week we have already 4 days gone for this week, and we already met the half of yesterday's bar. All right. So let's see. We have 3 days to go in order to see how this is gonna end at Sunday night, to see if it's gonna reach the previous volume bar, or if it's gonna stay in between or something like that. Okay, remember you guys that we are 4 days, 7 hours, 23 minutes from the halving date. Okay, from the big day, which means that a lot of things might happen from now on. Okay. Another thing, just before I continue, remember that I just want to remind you guys that this analysis is already available in every and all main social networks. Choose the one is your preferred one. Follow me there. Like my post. I would appreciate that. And remember my disclaimer that says that my opinion is just my opinion. Okay, it's not a financial advisement. All right. Coming back here to you guys. So by having this said, let's see how the volume is gonna move. We see that the price is kind of retracting right now. It went like something 95 whatever. Let's see what was a maximum today. 96.26. So now it's 94.43. So as you guys can see, we have something similar. And then you guys might be asking me, hey, Marcel, why don't you look at the price, the peak price that we had on the first halving? Here it is. It had a short peak. Let's just check it out. And the difference is we had the peak starting before the halving and continuing after the halving. So I don't consider this a best reference. We had like, I don't know, maybe 30% of peak on the first halving. I don't consider this something um, that we should uh, keep looking at, because at that time, Bitcoin, it was a slow market on 2012. It wasn't just a few players were playing in it. But when we reached 2006, we had something totally different. Okay, if we see on the from 2002, uh, and before the second halving, we had a volume peak going on. Let me get the pin here. Here you go. We had a volume peak right here, and we had a second volume peak going on, and we did have it again, and somehow we had it again. We did have some peak going on prior to the halving, and we do see something similar, kind of in a different way, but it's similar. Even my chart can show you guys that. See, the blue color shows us that the, let me just take these guys out of here. Okay. Let's go back to the volume. We see the blue color. Sorry. We see the blue color showing us that there is more there is more buyers interested than sellers. Okay, so when we see that that's starting, when we had the big drop, and it was kind of 50-50. Then we started moving up 50-50. After that, we started seeing weeks later that the buyers were more interested than the sellers. But right now we are in a situation that this might change. And just to remind you guys, we do have a gap that on the CME BTC future. So at a gap at 35.70 on February 15, 2019. Okay. So the question is that gap going to be closed now? Who knows? It's kind of getting far to go down, way down there and close that. The market's starting to believe that nothing's going to happen regarding to this gap, and there's no obligation to close it. So whatever. Let's just check quickly now the indicators. The indicator shows us that. Let me get the pin here. We do have a positive wave growing. Okay, but let's see it closer. Let's open it here. As you guys can see, it looks like this wave is starting to fade the growth, right? See how it's turning, going. It should go something like this. Okay, let's see if that's really going to happen. So we have to see the same distance that we had from this peak to this peak, from this other peak to this peak, from this other peak to this peak. And as you guys can see, it's shrinking. So we should see something up here, which we might not see. Okay, that can be an indication that we are going down. All right, so let's keep our eyes on the volume wave. When we see, there's something else that bothers me here. When we see the stochastic histogram, when we see the RFE, the relative strength histogram, when we see the money pressure histogram, we can see that they're all kind of shrunk, kind of small. They don't reach deep bottom, and they don't reach high peaks. So it's kind of bothers me that it looks like it's telling me something. So um, I'm looking careful at that. And also, we are almost reaching the overbought zone for the stochastic. All right. If that happens, we should see some sales going on. We still have 3 days today and this week, and another day next week before the halving. So a lot could happen. Just to remind you guys that we had a huge drop recently, and historically, not so far ago, we also had some huge drops. So we know that that Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency world, can give you whatever spread, whatever drop. So we have to be careful on that. This week we got all three time frames positive. So now we have the short term, mid term, and long term all going positive. This is nice. And just to remind you guys, we are on the weekly chart, which means that this has a huge impact on the time frame, on the future. Okay, so in order for us to lose this weekly, this long term trend, it's gonna take a while. Okay, so we might go down, we might lose a short term trend next week or so if it happens to see prices going down, but it shouldn't take a long, and I don't know, it shouldn't affect the the Bitcoin price movement. It should be from there on. Remembering that we have a month after the halving, it says that it goes down. So let's see if that is going to happen. Okay. What else we have here right now? We have a lot of volatility going on this week. Here it goes. Actually, not this week, but for a while, a lot of volatility. So let's keep our eyes on that as well. Okay. Coming back here to the main chart, let's see if we have something else to consider. Let's see. No, there's not much to say. I guess this is it for today. Let's see how things are gonna go on for the coming days to close the week and see if it's gonna have an impact on the price or if it's gonna drop. Okay, folks, that's it for today. Thank you very much. If you guys please just go down here and like my channel, my post, follow my channel. I would appreciate that. It motivates me and helps me um, uh, direct the way I'm driving my analysis. Okay, so that's it. Let your comments, give me your suggestions, and let's move forward. With this analysis on hand and halving coming in, now it's showtime. Take care.